Biafra Superstars Media.
My people, my Biafran people, how in a day today? I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending from where you're listening to the sound of my voice. This one, na Biafra Superstars Media, and I'm holding it down. I say, may God bless Biafra, and may God bless His Excellency Oyendu Mazenam the Kano. May God bless, may God bless, may God bless, may God bless, may God bless His Excellency, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, His Excellency ESN Ekpa Simon and Joko, for the job Simon is doing. Simon, I want to say we thank you. We appreciate you. We love you because you know, in your hands, Biafra is coming. In your hands, Biafra is safe. And in your hands, when Biafra comes, the people of Biafra will rejoice. My people, I said today, make we laugh this one. Make we laugh this one. Today, I will tag this one. Now, who carry monkey come Lagos? As my mother used to say when we were kids, sometimes when the house help, those they call the servant, when they mess up things in the house, my mother will get angry and shout, now who carry monkey come Lagos? So today, my people, I want us to speak to this man who came to Arise TV and he was talking out of his nyash, as fella will say. The man was speaking through his nyash, talking trash about our Prime Minister, trying to belittle the great achievements of our Prime Minister. He was trying to sound intellectual, but at the same time, he was so naive about our Prime Minister, because from his utterances, I could tell that this man you are seeing here, he's a novice. He doesn't know what is going on. He assumes that Simon Ekpa is just a one-man army. From his discussion, my people. In fact, make a talk for pidgin English. Make a give am water. From his discussion, una go see say this guy here, na hungry man, we don't know wetin dey happen. He no know wetin dey happen. As the saying goes, you say you don't know, you go know. When time don't come, you go know. You say you don't know, you go know. Time don't come now, you go know. My people, if not ready, I beg, make we hear this man. Then I go give him the water. If you are ready, my people, without any much further ado, let's go there. Listen.
Security post in Aba killing 5 soldiers and 6 civilians during a shootout. Your thoughts?
I think it was one of the most cowardly acts that has been carried out recently. It's quite sad because it's like 1 year down the line, we still have the security challenges. But what bothers me here is that they came in 3 tinted SUVs, Prado. Everybody knows how much a Prado cost. That should tell you how much these people how they're being funded. While the 3 XUVs we are approaching, they also had ground support. So there was failure of intelligence, because that would be a Kabas junction, Bingwa local government area where this attack took place. I heard the junction is a wide junction that they could have been able to tell. And when you see 3 SUVs coming at the time when you have talked about sit at home, I thought there should have been more of intelligence. As sad as it is, but it was a surprise attack. And at this point in time, the National Intelligence Agency have to sit up, because Simon Ekpa is becoming more of a clog in the wheel of progress for the 5 southeastern states. Some of us have said that holding down the Nnamdi Kanu has been negative, because it has given cause to raise a Simon Ekpa who is not preaching the same sermon as Nnamdi Kanu was preaching, who is preaching violence. He's in Finland. I wonder what the Nigerian embassy in Finland is doing and the Nigerian foreign minister is doing at this material point in time. He goes on Twitter. He calls out those violent acts. He goes on propaganda. He says he's carrying out referendum and they have been 30 million votes. Apparently, this attack was not done by IPOB. This was done by Simon Ekpa's boys. And
just make it finish, then I will break him down. See the trash this guy is talking about. Let him finish, then I go break him down. Listen.
Probably posted it on Twitter. If you notice, he has been number one on the tweet on trends for some time now on Twitter, and he's enjoying all the media attention, and you know, that gathers him more support, gathers him more finances, and these are the finances that he's using. You know, he actually does empowerment programs. Simon Ekpa, he sends funds to these people who actually also see him in the quest of being a benefactor. So the government has to do something about it. Yes, if not, the Southeast is going to continue to be a war theater. And one thing I must also point out
briefly:
the military says they're going to go after them, but this is a guerrilla warfare. It's quite difficult to get people in a guerrilla warfare.
Yeah, that's why we're warning that it has to be done within the ambit of the law. But I mean, you make some very good points there, and of course the Nigerian government can't go to Finland and sort of try and extract Simon Ekpa from there. But all they can do is...
Mr. Charles, calm down. Stop saying what you don't know with all due respect. I love the way you're talking with your accent, but stop, saying things you don't understand. If someone like you has lived your life in Britain with the accent you've got, then I want to believe you should understand what they call the proper avenues in doing things. You don't expect, if you're a British citizen, for someone to just come and pick you up. Someone from a shithole country like Nigeria to just come down to Britain and pick up our British citizens. Mr. Charles, I hope you know what you're saying. I want to believe you are an educated man because you speak this way while you are in Nigeria, which is a bit strange because when you're in Rome, you should behave like the Romans. I expected you, when you got back to Nigeria, you should be using your so-called native tone. Mr. Charles, don't go there. I want to respect you because you are a learned man. So allow me to face this guy alone, peacefully. Allow me to give this man they call OKOLUGBO the water peacefully. With all due respect. Don't get involved. Please, Charles, I'm telling you, do not get involved. When your guests are speaking, do not get involved. Allow them to speak and just be there to coordinate their discussions. With all due respect.
Try and get the cooperation of the Finnish government, and the Finns have said that they've tried at one point to pick him up. They said that there just didn't seem to be any evidence directly linking him to what was going on here.
Now you are talking. At least, even though I don't want you to speak, you just said that the Finnish government, when the Zoo Cabal and the rest of them, they did what they did. Men like Abaribe, Ohanes Ndigbo, the Fulani Cabal, they went to Finland, and Finland said, hey, with all due respect, this gentleman is working under the ambit of the law. In Finland, they believe in the rule of law, they believe in equality, they believe that everyone has the right to free speech and free hearing. And so far, what Simon Ekpa is doing is not something that you will say he's broken the law. So, Mr. Charles, please, with all due respect, don't get involved. Allow that, because you see us, right? We have passed this stage to be responding. But just because I just want to have fun, okay? I want to spar intellectually with the riffraff you have in your studio. The man they call Mr. OKOLUGBO. OKOLUGBO. I want to spar with him intellectually because they call us miscreants, they call us criminals, they are insulting our prime minister, they are belittling his integrity, his reputation, his name, his pedigree, by assuming he's just a lone wolf doing what he's doing. With all due respect, that's a fallacious statement. Because we the people, we the Biafrans, we the 70 million plus Biafrans, we have spoken under one voice and we voted him in as our prime minister. For you guys still working under the ambits of the Nigerian law, I get it. You might not see it that way, but that is you. Allow us to be us. After the 2nd of December, now, you say you don't know, you go know. When time don't come, you go know. Mr. OKOLUGBO, you say you no know. You go know. When time don't come, you go know. As I keep saying, you say you no know, you go know. When time don't come, you go know. You say you no know, you go know. Time don't come now, you go know. You say you no know, you go know. When time don't come, you go know. You say you no know, you go know. Time don't come now, you go know. By the 2nd of December, God willing, devil decrease. By the 2nd of December, Mr. OKOLUGBO, I want you to come back to Arise News. And then I will see you bite your tongue. I will ask you, oh, cat got your tongue? Because now these things you are saying about our Prime Minister, you be you. Do what you are doing because you are speaking very, very naive. The idiot is saying we've got 30 million votes. Hello, I've got news for you. We've gone beyond that. But like I said, keep acting stupid. Keep acting like you are from a shithole country. Keep acting like you are a non-entity. Keep acting blinded and foolish. But from the 2nd of December, we shall now tell and know who is stupid and who is dummy and who is playing games. Keep acting stupid. Just continue. I will break this video down, line for line, word for word, and put you in your place. Continue.
Well, let me come to you, Abba Kaka, and I apologize. I was calling you Abba Kaba, but somebody had written your name that way and forwarded it to me. So I do apologize. But I mean, Kenny OKOLUGBO was talking about this and the linkage to Nnamdi Kanu. Does all this make it less likely, because the name IPOB is associated with this, that Nnamdi Kanu will be released anytime soon? Or does it strengthen the argument which he himself makes that in his absence, the group is running amok, but if he was freed, the reason for their violent protest...
Hold it there, my brother. Hold it there. Hold it there. I'm not here to listen to the Fulani man talk. I have no business wasting my time listening to a Fulani man speak. I'm here to make the dead to bury the dead. Allow the dead to bury the dead. I've got no time for them. Is this man here I want to speak to? This man they call Mr. OKOLUGBO. You pretend to be smart, but at the same time you're acting naive and shallow. My people, make we break within this boy talk. He's a boy, not even a man. Let us listen to what this guy said. Listen.
Post in Aba killing 5 soldiers and 6 civilians during a shootout. Your thoughts?
Hold it there. This was when they claimed that during our time we were celebrating the Biafra Memorial Day, and they claimed that 5 Zoo soldiers, they met their Waterloo. They kicked the bucket on a day that was solemn to us, on a day that we were giving the souls of the departed a befitting remembrance. We were solemn. We were in prayer mode, and we said that day was a sit-at-home day. But suddenly, the cabal, they tried to insult us. They tried to put salt in the wounds. Most of us were even yet to heal from the killings that happened in our land. And also because they saw the man they call Governor Oti was doing well. Governor Oti, being that he's somebody who is cut from a different cloth. He's somebody who has his countrymen at heart. And for the first time, there was a round peg in a round hole, doing what he has to do for his people. And because, to an extent, our Prime Minister spared Governor Oti. We didn't attack him because he didn't attack us. He was minding his business and we were minding ours. So the cabal, they decided to cause mayhem, not in Imo State, not in Enugu State, but they went all the way to Abia State because Governor Oti made a statement where he said he will allow the people to remember the past heroes of Biafra. So he was not objecting the sit at home. Now, I want you all to understand something. If from the so-called 5 states that they claim is the Southeast, the only governor that came out to agree with what we have asked for, the only government who concurred to the directives of our Prime Minister, His Excellency, Mazi Ekpa Simon Njoku, Agune Chimba, Wakoma. And he said live on air, that was the scene of Governor Oti. It was captured on Channels TV, Arise TV, and some other local media, where he said he would not object to the people having a seat at home as long as they are remembering the fallen heroes of the Biafran War peacefully. He was the only one that spoke, the only governor that spoke, that leaned towards what the Biafra Republic government has instructed throughout the whole land of Biafra. And because of that, the Zoo government, I won't even say it's Tinubu, because Tinubu is not the one running Nigeria. You can tell from the protest. You can see what is happening in the protest. For the first time, you are seeing the North come out. Those from the North, they are coming out to protest. But for 8 years, where they had the dirty stinking fool they call Buhari in power, they said it was haram to protest. It was against the laws of Islam to protest against your own. They called him Say Baba. They believed in him for 8 years. Even during the time of NSAS, when those from the southern side of that zoo, they were fighting, protesting against the killing, the pillaging of those in NSAS, their high-handedness and the rest of them. The youths from the north said, do not bring your madness down to the north. We love NSAS. In fact, they had placards and the rest of them saying they love the NSAS. And I still remember what Rufai Oseni said on Arise TV. He said, and I quote, could it be that the NSAS military men or whatever, or those men in SAS, could it be that they operate differently when it comes to the youths based in the south against the youths based in the north? Because the youths in the south, they are doing well, they are striving. We are more modern. The way we think, we are more westernized. They see us with a laptop, it's a problem. You do a hairstyle, it's a problem. I am going somewhere, because at the peak of the NSAS, people from the north, they said no. They love SAS. That SAS is doing a good job. That's to show you the affinity and the love that the youths have for the politicians from the north. So today that you are seeing what is happening, that the youths from the north, they are coming out to protest, that's to show you that Tinubu is not in power. With all due respect. My only anger with Tinubu, my only problem that I have with Tinubu is, once again, like in the theory of the bully in the classroom, Tinubu has allowed himself to be used by the cabal. At a time that the Biafrans were ready to face the enemy head on, Tinubu with the Afonja spirit has come in the front of the cabal to act like a human shield. He is trying to distract us, and the way he is doing it now is to get the Yorubas involved again with their tribalism and all those nonsense. The Yoruba I once know never behaved this way. Growing up in Lagos as a baby, not even a child, as a baby, all my friends were Yorubas. And none of them will ever look at you and say, you are Igbo, you are Yoruba. So this new trend started from 1999. When this criminal that came from Gambia, visit Guinea, they made him the governor of Lagos. And the rest was history. Because a foreigner, when a foreigner comes to a place, they don't have that culture of that place. They must go through what they call acculturation. It means you assimilating to the culture that you find yourself. Unfortunately, when people like Tinubu came to Lagos, when someone who came to Lagos, what they experienced is known as culture shock. A culture shock. For the first time, they saw the Yorubas and the Igbos working hand by hand, working side by side, doing business, commuting together, marrying together. We were marrying ourselves. In fact, me growing up back then, almost all my girlfriends then, they were Yoruba girls or whatever. It doesn't matter. When you want to date a girl, you don't look, say, which tribe is she from? No! We didn't do that. Because there was nothing about tribe growing up in Lagos. But today, what you are seeing happening in Lagos is as a result of some strangers that came to the land. When I say strangers, I don't mean the Igbos. Because last time I checked, Lagos was once the capital of that so-called Nigeria. And for so many of us, I told you the story about my father. Immediately after the Biafran War, when they gave them $20 each to chop the money and die. In the year 1970, they gave them $20 after the war. Is it 20 pounds? 20 pounds. My father bought a rally bicycle. A rally bicycle. He had a radio. And in the radio, a musician was singing, a Biafran man who was based in Lagos. Way back in the 70s, before the Biafran War, after the Biafran War, we were staying in Lagos. Lagos was just the way it is. The real name is Lagos. A Portuguese word. It means a coastal line, a coast, a lake. During those days, when the slave masters, the colonizers, whenever they are coming, they are looking for a lake to anchor their ship. And when they found Lagos, they stayed there. They built their territory around there. And Lagos became what it is. Even the name Lagos. The name Lagos is not a Yoruba name. It's not a Nigerian name, as you want to say. It's a Portuguese name. Lagos. Lagos. It means a lakeside. Lake. Lake. L-A-K-E. Lima. Alpha. Kilo. Echo. Lake. I'm saying this to let you know that when these men came to Lagos, these foreigners, I mean people like Tinubu and Sanwo-Olu, it was a culture shock to see Yorubas walking hand in hand, not caring about who they are. You have lived with these people all your life. You eat their food, their amala, ewedu, oferiro, shaki, edo. And we're eating all these things. We were speaking their language. It meant nothing. When I saw a Yoruba boy, I have seen me. There was nothing like, oh, Omo Yoruba or Omo Igbo, as you have now. But when these strangers came to Lagos, they did what they did. They have sown this seed. And before you know it, there is tribalism at an all-time high. I'm going somewhere with this. So what you are seeing happening in Lagos now, with all due respect, it started from 1999. And suddenly, when they are doing their politics, they now think because they are strangers, they don't understand how the Igbos and Yorubas can be living, in a conducive environment, living together as one. To them, it's no. They now said, I want Yoruba, don't allow the Igbos to vote. It started way back then. I know how they threatened my father about trade fair. He had some complex in trade fair. And they said they were going to burn it down and push all the Igbos into the lake or something. There was a threat then. That was the beginning of the end of the so-called mutual respect we had for each other. There was a betrayal of trust because some strangers have come. To them, seeing Igbo and Yoruba marrying themselves, it was a culture shock. They came to sow that seed of discord, enmity among the people. And since then, there is no more love lost between the Yorubas and the Igbos. I'm going somewhere with this because for again and again and again, suddenly, on the day we the Biafrans were remembering ourselves, our fallen heroes, those who fought and died for us, Tinubu allowed his government to be used. And they tried to set up the governor of ABIA state. They sent some men there, some young soldiers, Igbo soldiers, and they pied those Igbo soldiers. And they put the blame on Simon Ekpa. They put the blame on ESN. You and I know that ESN is no longer functioning. ESN has been defunct for over a year now. But in order to, spite this man called Governor Alex Oti for talking out loud, for speaking in public, for showing his support for the Remembrance Day of the Biafrans, they chose to do what they did. I call it the Nollywood. They did their Nollywood in Abia State. And they pied those 5 men there. So what this idiot is about to speak about, you will see that this guy who is trying to speak intellectually, he doesn't know what he's talking about because he will now go with the script of the government. I want you to listen to what this guy said now. Just listen. After I've told you a story, how Tinubu has allowed himself to be used. Tinubu have no business holding Nnamdi Kanu. When he came to power, we told him, wash your hands off the case of Nnamdi Kanu because we have no problem with you. We don't even care about your government. Do your Nigerian politics. We no care. Because now they are doing their protest with the Biafrans. We no care. When you are doing your elections with the Biafrans, we opted out. Our Prime Minister told us not to get involved. And now you are doing your protests. There is a protest against you, Tinubu. Once again, our Prime Minister has told us not to come out to do any protest. And so far, across the whole Biafra land, there is peace. Nobody is protesting. The whole country or the whole states in Biafra land is calm. Or should I say they are so-called 5 states. It's calm. So now that because sometimes it's good to play, go back to history. Hear what people were saying about Simon Ekpa. Now come back today and did, checkmate them. So I want to checkmate this guy. Listen to the way he insulted Simon Ekpa. Listen to the way he spoke so little about Simon Ekpa. But today, the whole Nigeria is burning up. There is protest across Nigeria, apart from the southeast. Because our prime minister, who this idiot is saying he's a nobody. Our prime minister, who this fool is saying is a charlatan. They called him a one-man army, that he's just on social media. He's a nobody. Because our PM said we should not partake in the protest. And so far, we the Biafrans have chosen to stay at home. So I want you to now hear this man. We now rewind back to see what this fool was talking about Simon Ekpa. You will see how they lied on the name of Simon Ekpa. Just some few months ago. I believe it's in the May 30th or so. The Biafran Memorial Day. Listen to what this man said. Then put your mind back to how they tried to blackmail Simon Ekpa to make him feel like he's a nobody. And now, see the power, influence that our PM has today. That he called for the whole Biafrans not to partake in their so-called riot and the rest of them, the protest. And what he said has happened. Ekweme, as you talk him, with the dwam. Now listen.
I think it was one of the most cowardly acts that has been carried out recently.
Take it back.
A security post in Aba killing 5 soldiers and 6 civilians during a shootout. Your thoughts?
I think it was one of the most cowardly acts that has been carried out recently. It's quite sad because it's like 1 year down the line, we still have the security challenges. But what bothers me here is that they came in 3 tinted SUVs, Prado. Everybody knows how much a Prado cost.
Hold it. Now he said the people that are the killers, those that came, they came with 3 tinted Prados. Everybody knows how much Prados cost. Last time I checked, our PM does not buy cars or SUVs for anybody. Last time I checked, for the whole 1 year, the media is speaking about people buying SUVs for themselves, and it's being the politicians. Those in Senate, those in the House of Reps, even the governor, the president, and the rest of them. They've been the ones fighting about SUVs. So for the fact that people came with SUV, this man here should have at least put his 1 and 2 together to decipher the meaning behind that. How come they came with 3 SUVs? In a guerrilla warfare, you don't drive around SUVs because there is a red number plate, with all due respect. Now, if they said some policemen lost their SUV and the next day some hoodlum, that is different. But the zoo, they are not too smart. So all they do is they will go to a government house. The governor will give them the cars. They will drive to the scene and do what they had to do. Then they drive back somewhere else, put back the number plate, and return the cars in the government house. That's been their modus operandi from day one. Back in the days where we were in university, that's the same thing. I know men. I keep telling you, my guy is Samiho. He's my right-hand man. I know how governors were, every back and boys. Governor will give them car. They'll go and do what they want to do, then come back. Lord have mercy. So I understand. When I keep saying that, I understand the language of the zoo. You guys don't get it. I can decipher anything they are doing because now we sabi them. We sabi the zoo well. We sabi the way they operate. So for the fact you saw 3 SUVs, you should have known where they came from. But back in May, this idiot here, he was so fixated on Simon Ekpa. He was blinded that his problem was Simon Ekpa. He couldn't wait to attack Simon Ekpa. They called Simon Ekpa a rogue. They said he was working by himself. He was working in a silo. Silo means you are working by yourself. You ain't communicating with nobody. You are busy on social media, talking, doing videos, and claiming ownership of the men that buy. Hear this man speak. Listen again. Take it back. Listen.
Security post in Aba killing 5 soldiers and 6 civilians during a shootout. Your thoughts?
I think it was one of the most cowardly acts that has been carried out recently. It's quite sad because it's like 1 year down the line, we still have the security challenges. But what bothers me here is that they came in 3 tinted SUVs, Prado. Everybody knows how much a Prado cost. That should tell you how much these people how they're being funded. While the 3 XUVs we are approaching, they also had ground support. So there was failure of intelligence because that would be a Kaba's junction, Bingwa local government area where this attack took place. I heard the junction is a wide junction that they could have been able to tell. And when you see 3 SUVs coming at the time when you have talked about sit at home, I thought there should have been more of intelligence. As sad as it is, but it was a surprise attack. And at this point in time, the National Intelligence Agency have to sit up because Simon Ekpa is becoming more of a clog in the wheel of progress for the 5 southeastern states. Some of us have said that holding down the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been negative because it has given cause to raise a Simon Ekpa who is not preaching the same sermon as Nnamdi Kanu was preaching, who is preaching violence. He's in Finland. I wonder what the Nigerian embassy in Finland is doing and the Nigerian foreign minister is doing at this material point in time. He goes on Twitter. He calls out those violent acts. He goes on propaganda. He says he's carrying out referendum and they have been 30 million votes. Apparently, this attack was not done by IPOB. This was done by Simon Ekpa's boys. And
hold it there. I allow this man to just, making the talk, they run in mouth. Making the run in dirty, stinking mouth. I allowed this guy to play himself like a coin. You saw how he was talking so low for our prime minister. He's just there on Twitter. He's doing this, he's talking that. He claimed there have been some voting. He claimed they have 30 million people on referendum. In fact, this attack was not done by IPOB. It was done by Simon Ekpa boys. Just imagine the kind of language this guy was speaking just how many months ago. But today, the same Simon Ekpa that they were attacking was the one that gave the command, that gave the order for all Biafrans in their so-called 5 southeast states not to get involved in the protest. If they are saying Simon Ekpa is working by himself, he is a criminal, he's a small boy, he's after money online, nobody is following him, how come when Simon Ekpa called for us not to protest the whole of the Biafra? Why am I keep saying that? Just the 5 states of Biafra. What the zoo called the 5 southeastern states. How come none of them is expressing this protest? That's the question these guys don't want to ask themselves. They will keep on lying to themselves. Even when they get to the pit of hell, they will keep on lying to the Lucifer himself. I keep saying, you say you don't know, you go know. When time don't come, you go know. You say you don't know, you go know. Time don't come now, you go know. Today, while those idiots, Benjamin Carlo, they were all crying like babies, begging, please, the Igbos, don't come out. You see, they were crying like babies. But just one instruction from our prime minister, the whole of the southeastern states, they obeyed. That's to let you know that our fight is not about one Nigeria. Our fight is not about ending bad governance in Nigeria. Our fight is not in search of a good governance in Nigeria. Now see me, they call a spade a spade. Just 2 years ago, our Prime Minister placed an economic sanction on the Zoo Republic. And today, the people, they are saying they are hungry. Wow, we are hungry. As we they talk, it they happen. You see, so today, what this man said back then has been flawed. This guy they call OKOLUGBO. I wonder where he's from. With his beer when they gray. A young boy like this, you are living gray beer. A goofy goat. You need to live a bit like a goofy. To fear kwage. Idiot. My people, this is how you know these guys. They are just pandering. They don't know what is happening. They know deep inside Simon Ekpa is in control. But people like this, they will also say, instead of Simon to bring Biafra, let Biafra not come. People like this. But now they are all happy. Thank God. Simon has helped us. So when he said the Igbo should not protest, the whole of the eastern states, they are so calm. It's peaceful. We thank God. We did that because going for the protest was not our interest. But guess what? Something is coming very, very soon. Something is brewing very, very soon. And when that time comes, when it is a time for 1 month sit at home, again, you will see the Biafrans obey our Prime Minister. But during that time, idiots like this, they will come out and say, Finland, Simon Ekpa is the problem. There is hunger in the land. We are hungry. Ordinary money sit at home, they cry to Finland. But now that there is protest for 10 days and our PM has said, let there be calm, everybody should be at home for 10 days, nobody is calling Finland. They say, hey, please, we are at home for 10 days, there is no food, the economy is down. No idiot is calling Finland now. Very selfish bastards. They are so ungrateful. Ah, God, listen.
He probably posted it on Twitter. If you notice, he has been number one on the tweet on trends for some time now on Twitter, and he's enjoying all the media attention.
Hold it there, shut up there, you're a fool. He's saying here that Simon Ekpa, if you notice, he has been number one and trending on Twitter, and someone is enjoying it. Young man, I'll call you a young man, even though you've got some dirty gray beard there on your chin. You better shave that thing off. You're a young boy. Shave that gray off. It's because you are lacking vitamins, nutrients, and balanced diet. That's why you are going gray. You are lacking vitamin D. You are lacking vitamin B12, omega. Go and chop fresh fish. And that dirty gray hair in your jaw will get away. Idiots. Now this fool here is saying that, oh, Simon, he's enjoying the trend. With all due respect, if you don't have followers, you will not trend in the social media. People that trend, either you do something stupid that people are laughing at you, or people are looking up to you. Two ways. For example, somebody like Bobrisky can now trend because she acts like, he acts like she's a woman and all those stuff. She was caught in jail, locked up or whatever for sharing their zoo, naira, all those stuff. It's a different trend. But when you see somebody every week in, week out, millions of views for our Prime Minister, it means he's got the audience. It means Biafrans around the whole world, we are tuning towards our Prime Minister. Every tweet he does, people are out there to like, share, and acknowledge them. So don't try to talk or belittle our prime minister. Compare him to you. You are a nobody. I don't even know who you are. This is the first time I'm seeing you. You are a nobody. Continue, idiots.
And that gathers him more support, gathers him more finances, and these are the finances that he's using. He actually does empowerment programs. Simon,
there, you see, he doesn't say, "Oh, he's popular in Twitter. That's gathering more support, more finances." And guess what? The money is what he's using to empower people. Did you know? Can you imagine how wicked and shallow this guy is? Every weekend he sees us doing the fundraising. Human beings, not animals, not props, not AI. Human beings with our pictures open. We are voting, we are donating every week. Every Saturday, you see us doing that. But no. They ignore everybody. They want to blame Simon Ekpa. They call him a charlatan. They call him a criminal. They call him a fraudster. Or do you think somebody as educated as I am will be fooled by somebody trying to sell me snake oil or something? You see, because sometimes it's an insult to our own intelligence. Say somebody like this will be assuming that we are stupid, or we are being used by Simon Ekpa. I wonder, how do this guy think sometimes? How do guys like this think sometimes when they look at us in the Western world? Because we are working with Simon Ekpa, we are supporting our prime minister. They are now trying to negate us, put us, at the background and say, no, they are nobody, they are miscreants. It's Simon Ekpa. Oh, God have mercy. My PM, Simon Ekpa, man, I'm so sorry. I never knew that Nigerians were like this. I was thinking that the average man in Nigeria had grown mentally the same way I was able to develop myself in the Western world. But now it is clear to me that sickness, that poverty of the brain, that kwashiorkor of the mind that these guys have, that when they see their politicians, they forget that their politicians are there to serve them. The politicians, they are the service boys of the people. They are your servants. They were there, they were put by you, either voted by you or delegated by you to render a selfless service. Oh my God. But these politicians, they've turned things around. Now they are rendering a selfish service. Because that's why now you are calling them God. You are bowing down. You are calling them nicknames. You go into tribalism for your politicians. There is a protest. They say, let's spin it. Say it's the Igbos. Before you know, people say the Igbo must go. Lord have mercy. You guys, you are so myopic. There is something wrong with your thinking faculty. That politicians like Wike, you see him, he's wearing Louis Vuitton, he's wearing Gucci. And you guys think it's okay? Do you know what it means for a politician in the Western world to wear a designer's clothes? Do you know that means his job is gone? The moment they start to wear expensive clothes in the Western world, it means they are now becoming selfish. It means that job, they don't longer fit the criteria to lead the people. Because it's a very formal job. You must be professional at all time. You guys, you've got it all wrong, man. You guys in Nigeria, you've got it all wrong. It's very, very sad. I was expecting these guys to develop the way I was developing in the Western world. But now I get it. Nigeria was designed exactly the way it was. The first thing Britain did was to handpick some of them. Awolowo, Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewa, they handpicked them, took them to England, gave them the culture, taught them some few things, then brought them back. And before you knew it, the deaf, the dumb, and the blind, they were assuming that those guys were there to fight for their freedom. Suddenly, you gained your independence in a platter of gold. Go and look out there in the world. Any country that gained independence in a platter of gold, that country is not really free. If you don't fight and shed blood for your freedom, there's something, when you go deeper, something did there. Britain knew what they were doing. Britain, the Brits, that small island, they went around the whole world, they conquered the whole world. You think they are stupid? They knew what they did. They knew what they did. Till this day, they are still practicing their indirect rule. Till this day. That's why when you see for the first time somebody who has learnt the way of the white man, people like Simon Ekpa, we have understood the culture of the white man. We have lived among them. We have sparred with them intellectually. I'm saying these guys, they are nobody. The brain when them get, I get and pass them. The confidence when them get, I get and pass them. I'm not boasting, I'm calling a spade a spade. And when we are discussing some of these African dirty-looking politicians, when they are coming to the Western world to take loan, when they see you, they will be shy. Hello, my son, please, what country are you from? Please, make you help us. The men you respect in Africa, when they come for loan in the Western world and they see men like us, they bow down. They are humble. They are smiling. They are begging us to make sure their loans go through. But an idiot like this will turn around and say, we are miscreants. Well, whether you like this freedom or not, from 2nd of December, Biafra must be free. Whether you hate Simon Ekpa or you dislike him or we don't care, you have the right to feel the way you want to feel. As the saying goes, the minority will have their say, majority will have their way. Minorities will have their say, majority will have their way. So come what may, on the 2nd of December, God willing, oh my God, on the 2nd of December, my people, when our Prime Minister and the Cabinet, they reel out the vote and let us know the outcome. God willing, I'm just praying to God that the people that voted said yes. I'm praying to God. I'm just praying to God. Because to call a spade a spade, we are law-abiding people. Whatever the outcome of the voting result, we shall go with it. So we must pray to God that our Biafran people, they are ready for their liberation. I'm confident that the news will be positive. I pray to the God of Biafra to keep on touching the hearts of those who have been voting and make sure they vote according to their conscience. They vote for what is right. But to call a spade, the minority will have their say, but the majority will have their way. But in the zoo government, it's a different thing. In the zoo, they will tell you, grab it, take it, run with it, for a la carte and the rest of that. In the zoo, they will say, okay, this guy will win, do the tribal thing, bring out the Uru festival and all those stuff. My only anger and embarrassment is the Lagos I once knew has changed drastically because they allowed strangers, they allowed intruders, they allowed interlopers, Oyibo, they allowed strange fellows, men that look like them, men that have their tongue, men that could speak their language. They allow them to come and sit in the harem of affairs of Lagos State. They allow them to have their way. A criminal, when a criminal sits on power, they will never let go. When a criminal sits in a position of power, they will never let go. Even though the policy say, okay, after 4 years, you are done, you go for the revoting, a re-election. If you win, maximum is 8. But because they are criminals by nature, they've seen what they saw. They saw the velocity of money going through and fro. They see how much the government is making. The criminality in them will make them to remain there. Before you know, they will start having strangers come into Lagos to become governors. To the Yorubas, you know what we are talking about. You keep on pretending you don't know. Your culture was a darling culture. Your culture was so sweet. While we were studying in Lagos, they were teaching us the Yoruba culture, the Yoruba language, and we were imbibing, we were taking it in. There was no qualms, no argument. Jakonde blessed so many of us. If not for Jakonde, people like us, even the politicians, they may not even have the chance to enjoy free education. Those were the real leaders of the Yorubas. And before I go for the Yorubas, I want to show you a snippet of how things were when the real Yorubas were running a state like Lagos. Not the criminals you have now. I want to give you a taste of your culture. I want to put it back to you for you to see how wonderful, how amazing the culture is. That right now, people in Brazil, the Yorubas that went to Brazil during the transatlantic slavery and the rest of them, they are still trying to connect to your culture. You go to Mexico, they are there. You go to Cuba, they are there. They still speak your language. They still call the names of your gods. Olokun Orisha, Obatola, Shango. We know you guys as men with principles. The Yorubas used to be honorable men with principles. But today, when I look at Lagos, what I'm seeing, it is shocking. It is embarrassing. That's not the Yoruba people that I know. Back then, as a child, when you look at Lagos, the politicians, there was a mix. Nobody was saying, you be Calabar, you be Lagos, you be this. No. There was a man close to our house. His name was Prince Obo. Obo. He used to drive a white horse. With his name now, I suspect he's from Calabar or whatever. But then he was a prince. He used to drive a white horse. And during their election campaign, he was campaigning on his white horse. And we love them. There is one man too then. His house was very close to our house. His name, I forgot, I think his name is Obatola, or something like that. And we're singing Adekunle number one, Adekunle number one, Adekunle tele o mowe o, Adekunle tele o no we, Adekunle number one, Adekunle number one, Adekunle tele o mowe o. We're singing and campaigning for this man. Nobody say na Igbo na Yoruba, because Lagos is a melting pot. Let's call a spade a spade. But today, you have allowed the worst amongst you You have allowed the criminals amongst you to hijack Lagos. They have hijacked Lagos. I'm saying that to make you guys know that, look, the good ones amongst you, it's time for you guys to rise up. It's time for you guys to rise up. Because what I'm saying is not the Yorubas I know. I will call it spade a spade. And before I go, I leave you with this one. Get a taste of how beautiful, how lovely your culture is or was. To call it spade a spade. Because right now, the only place you can get the beauty of the Yoruba culture is in places like Cuba, Brazil, Mexico, and a bit of some other South American countries. If you're ready, get a taste of how sweet and beautiful.
Strangers, and that's where the word Yoruba comes from.
Wait, say that again, run that back.
Yoruba means stranger.
Yoruba means strangers.
So when people came with Ekpa, coming from Kemet,
yes,
with this new spiritual system, they called them strangers, and that's where you get Yoruba and the Yoruba language from these strangers.
Wow. You also mentioned that the Igbo come from here.
Right. The Igbo come from here. Right?
Wow,
and
that's amazing.
Some of the Igbo that you'll see, like in Cameroon and stuff, consider themselves the original Hebrews. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when the Hebrews were persecuted here, they moved because the Romans decimated them.
Yeah, they didn't feel
and took over and took their identity. But so a lot of those Africans moved into the interior Africa and all the way to, you see, Nigeria and Cameroon and stuff like that. And they considered some of themselves the original Hebrews.
And what did you say about it?
Yeah, check me out. Superstars Media. Lord Llɛd, Bloomington, Lord Llɛd, and it's Wild Flora Show. 1914 amalgamation is what we dying for. 3 nations to 1 nation, ever since annihilation. Nepotism is nonsense. You and you, clap your hands. Biafra gonna come, clap your hands. Biafra, Oduduwa, we're free now. Freedom is gonna come, we're free now. Yeah.